guys, and welcome back to Fortune Theory. So I know this is a bit obscure, but yeah. So we're going to be talking about Fast and Furious 9. So we've literally just gone to see the movie.
Like literally less than an hour ago, we left.
Yeah,
Well, just over an hour ago, we left the cinema. So Fast 9. Obviously, we went to see it for Ollie. As well, you hadn't
I'm the big buff
seen it
on
yet, so you actually want to see it properly, obviously. And
it's out now in cinemas in the UK for all those who don't know. I think it comes out in the US either tomorrow or the next day.
Nice.
I want to say tomorrow. I'll say tomorrow.
So
as in Friday by the time.
This isn't going to be a massively long video, but we're going to try and not spoil it for the first sort of 5 minutes or so, because obviously this is only going to be like.
So post 5 minutes if you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to F off basically and watch it.
Because obviously
F9 off and watch
we want
it.
to properly we want to briefly, properly talk about the film. So for the first like 5 minutes, we're just going to talk about little details that aren't spoiling anything, what we think, and what Wally thinks, and then what I criticize, and then after that we'll go into detail for like 10 minutes. So yeah, Ollie, as the Fast and Furious franchise fan, the first time seeing it on the big screen, what do you think? Fast
9. Wow. It's pretty much what I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that regarding the action, it was pretty much all set out in the trailer, which was the only thing that I didn't hugely like. But it definitely putting it all together, it definitely culminated to a great set piece of not only like a flowing natural film, forgetting it's Fast and Furious for a moment for those who think it's shit. And yeah, just like all the set pieces, all those like massive action sequences, they all just really fold really well together. I think like they don't ever disappoint when it comes to it. I feel like what they did in the previous film with the submarine is a little bit bigger than the stakes in this one in regarding like size and scale of certain situations, but that's just my nitpick. But yeah, I think it was still really good. Still really good.
I mean, I haven't seen properly. I mean, I've seen Fast 5, 6, and 7, as in the latest ones, but like before like Fast and Furious, like before Tokyo Drift, I think was the furthest one into it before I then stopped for years and then like caught up with 5, 6, and 7, and they seem to have kept up.
You haven't watched Fate?
No. No, I
so
have.
You have you had no idea.
I forget the order of them. I've seen the first 3.
So the chronological order is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, and 7, 8, Hobbs and Shaw, and 9, because apparently they can't count.
This is my issue with franchises. Yeah. Link to franchises and standalone, because I can't.
Well, Justin Lin, who directed Fast and Furious 9, also previously directed Tokyo Drift, being his debut in the series, and then he had a chat with the Universal Studio about making 4, 5, and 6 a prequel to resurrect the Sung Kang's character Han, so he could appear in those 3 films previous. And obviously, it's not really a spoiler because it's in the trailer anyway. His character is back alive in this one, and in about 20 odd minutes, we'll talk about why that happened from the film and get Pat's opinion on that.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute.
But yeah, what I was going to say is they've always maintained that whether regardless of what my personal opinion on this, Fast and Furious franchise has always kept up that they've always got their plot order. They've always had that they've always maintained the action set pieces and managed to pull them off, whether you think they're amazing and well delivered and amazingly well choreographed and they're just lovely pieces of like 10 to 15, 20 minutes of cinema or within like the 2-hour film, or whether you think they're crap.
Whoever
But
whoever like crafts them must be on like LSD or some shit. Because what the fuck could go through their mind when they think of all this like action shit?
it's always bigger and better.
Literally. It's
Um,
like I was watching World War Z once. My nan walked in on me and she was like, "What fucked up person comes up with this shit?"
yeah.
She said, "Well, a polite way of basically saying that." Like she used words screwed up instead of what
um,
person screwed
I'm
up in their
trying to
mind
think. Are we
comes up
near
with
the?
this like horrific shit. It was the
I've,
Philadelphia fighting.
I've not been counting down 5 minutes, but yeah, I'm gonna sort of transition, non-spoiler transition into spoiler in a minute. I'll talk about my opinion, as you always said yours. I So let's start out with the originals. I used to love Fast and Furious, and I used to love Fast and Furious. This is crap now. Typically, um, I loved Tokyo Drift. That was a great film. Is it literally the one I thought I'd not watched? Fate of the Furious. I think I like that
Fate
one.
the Furious was the last one that came out just before this one, playing on the word of fast and eight.
Then it
Fate.
wasn't that one. The Fast and the Furious is what I'm on about.
That
There we
came
go.
out back in 2017. That one's the last one.
And
And then you had the Hobbs and Shaw spin-off that came out 2 years ago as well. That was a big hit in theaters because of the whole Vin Diesel Dwayne Johnson feud. He wanted a film of his own, and Tyrese Gibson's annoyed at him, and he threatened to quit if they were to postpone it again because of Hobbs's film. They had a massive feud as well about it all. From what I read the other day, apparently some of it was like, for fan service, like to get people hyped for the films. And I was like, that's fair enough, I suppose. But you don't want to see two like co-stars like at each other's throats off screen, like, and hear about it because it affects your film. Because due to that fact, Vin Diesel couldn't really bear to shoot any scenes with Dwayne Johnson in Fast 8, and you barely see them together anyway. So, luckily, but still.
But this film is, well, it lived up to my expectations, because that way you don't actually. No, it lived up to my expectations of what I was expecting it was going to turn out to be, and what I imagined would happen with Fast and Furious.
Did you come out of it with a different mindset? Like, well, the fact that you were driving really roughly when we left, but like when you came out of it, did you feel like your criticism of the franchise had changed in any way, or do you think that it all proved to you complete bollocks like you initially thought when you walked in?
It just consolidates my original, and well, confirms my original point. Yeah, like you said, I mean, 2%. I'm one over on, but 98% is, it's what I imagined it would be, and they, again, I'll now go into spoilers, as it's definitely been more than 5 minutes. We haven't evolved enough. It's evolved in the wrong way, and I know you kind of, a story evolves how it evolves. There isn't a right or wrong way, but Fast and Furious went from street race gangs to, there is literally a scene that mimics The Dark Knight. It must be paying homage, or like, it's literally the Dark Knight truck flip in.
Yeah, I heard you whisper
in the
something like that to
city.
me in the film, and I was like, I remember watching that film, but I can't remember too many of the
We did
details.
we did a trailer reaction to it in the which one was it? Which episode was it? I know we did a Fast 9 trailer reaction. Linked in the
Oh,
description.
that was weeks ago. Yeah,
And,
like if
in
you
that
want to see
trailer,
that without getting confused between that and this video, yeah.
and in
We
that
changed the
trailer
thumbnail, don't worry.
is the clip I'm on about. They paid homage to the. I hope they were paying homage to the truck flip and not just stealing it. But the there's just elements of it that, okay. So you want about Han's resurrection, big thing about Fast 9,
Yeah.
and it's just about the only part of the film that, not, it all obviously makes sense in it, but it's the only part of the film that, to me, works, and is like, yes, it's just 5 minutes of exposition about how Han survived and Mr. Nobody. What a name for a story as well over this franchise. Let's create this mastermind guy that's going to help them and slightly fuck them over, but bring them back again. What do we call him? Mr. Nobody. Ooh.
I mean, that's just he had a. I think his name was like Eric or Frank or something originally. Like, yeah, I can't remember. Like,
yeah, Hans.
yeah, he was cast as a different title, but he went by the name Mr. Nobody, and that's all he's been as since. So I don't know if they're going to announce something on what his real name is, or if it's going to be like revealed later on down the line.
Yeah, but Han's resurrection it wasn't very. It was slightly unthought out, but for the most part, it made sense. The exposition was warranted. All of the actual need for what happened during him, like he needed to. What actually happens in the story is this girl is the key because her parents die, and
Spoilers.
Han saves. Yeah, we're at the spoiler. We're past
Yeah,
spoiler.
make sure we'll add the spoiler part. Don't worry. Yeah.
And because this girl's parents die, she became or was already, but then it became even more so the key to this like weird ball of geometric looking ball that was gonna Project Ares. There you go. That's gonna
basically it's a device that can control satellites and they can
world domination and destruction,
attack stuff, world domination, all that generic shit. You guys know, you've seen loads of films like it.
Yeah, so Han saves her when her parents die because they go to take her away, and then ever since then,
because her DNA is the key to these two separate devices locking and opening together and being able to be active. So
putting a
therefore,
magic
they've got
ball into the
control of
computer, and then
all that
domination.
weird shit.
And yeah, so from that point, I can't remember which point, but Mr. Nobody basically uses Han, or to some extent, he basically just helps Han die in the public eye, or at least to his friends and family, so then he can help protect this girl, and his best way of living from that point on was dead, which again, to save the story there makes sense, and that's why I think it's warranted. Han's his like death made sense, or his death made sense, and now he's come back to help. My main issue with this film is the last sort of 10-15 minutes. Well, actually, no, the last 20 minutes, where Vin Diesel, John Cena's character, who is Jacob's brother. I think you find that out in the
Dom's
trailer.
brother.
Anyway. Yeah, Jacob's brother. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Jacob's brother's Dom, the main character.
Yeah. Jacob's brother. Yeah. Who is his brother? And basically, the only reason. Okay, so what happens towards the end, or very near the end, is the people that Dom's brother Jacob is working for is like, turns out that they're only using him really because for some muscle, I guess. And he, again, you can input if you want, Ollie, if I'm wrong, but if they used him to that point in the story, and then they were done with him and they don't need him anymore, so goodbye Jacob, Dom's brother. And then at that point, almost pretty much instantly, he becomes just a sort of anti-hero damsel, like prince in distress. I would say damsel in distress, prince in distress, and apparently all of his lifetime since Jacob and his father's death, Jacob and Dom's father's death is apparently not warranted anymore, which to me made no sense. Again, Ollie, please input if I'm like.
I think
if I'm wrong.
Dom got when there's a moment in the film which is also in the trailer as well, where, so technically it's not really a spoiler, where Dom ends up like pulling these two chains and then taking all these henchmen out, and then by doing so he ends up falling and then drowns in this like water. He doesn't actually die, obviously, but
so dumb. Sorry.
During that, he has one.
Sorry.
During that moment, brilliant. During that moment, he has like a sort of dream sequence, like a light flashing before his eyes thing. He's got memories of him and his father and his brother growing up, and then like it takes you back to like the events of like what happened during that race when his brother accidentally or intentionally. That bit still confuses me. I think he did it by accident. He did something under the bonnet and basically it got him to leak fuel, and then car skidded. Match went up because of tire sparks against the road. Bang, car went up and smoke blowed up. Their father be dead, and
That's also another
yeah,
terrible character trope
yeah,
there.
it's
Because
yeah,
why?
and then Dom pretty much worked
Literally,
that out.
Dom, it's in his blood.
Dom only
Then,
works out when he goes to
like
prison, but
Dom's
then
brother
even then that could
Jacob's
have.
character, like they even say face to face, like we he wanted to die. We had to help him die for this, and then Vin Diesel's character Dom literally says, like an honest thing, like you would have come to me if you're a good brother, and we would have helped him or whatever, but apparently not. So that even more so proves that Jacob, Dom's brother, is just in his blood to be not a nice guy, because he didn't even want
I
to
think it.
consider
I
helping
don't.
his dad, even if it was just a slightly wrong thought process, like, okay, dad will help you die. And
I think it was more because, like,
Dom
remember,
tries
there's
to
a
let him
line.
down.
The person who like actually crashes into him, Kenny Linder, the rival racer of Jack Toretto. He pays his condolences to the destroyed car, and he's like, I can't remember now. Basically, he's like the reason he died
Yeah.
in the film, because he like crashed his car into like Jack Toretto's car. But I don't think like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He calls him the useless brother. Then I'm thinking, Jacob killed his father by accident. Yeah, literally, you just said, oh, we had
Yeah.
to help him die in debt. So like,
Which
yeah, that
again
is that.
is like even more so shows what type of person Jacob is. And like the fact that
Like, is
Dom,
he useless in the sense of he's not very intelligent, or
like he
which
just
adds to the pile of yeah.
because Dom immediately as Dom goes to like explain why he thinks Jacob is wrong in that moment, is because well, he goes like, we had to, he wanted to die to so he could lose, and he could do that, do this to do that. And then I've even forgot the specific like reason for it in the race at the beginning, the opening scene of the film. But Dom immediately explains, what a rational person would do in that situation. So to me, it sounds like Jacob was just he either
I
didn't
think
like his
the
dad
problem is
much
with Jacob is that
anyway.
he seemed too jealous of being in his brother's shadow
Yeah.
as the character.
Flick. he was jealous, and that's it. It leads even more so into the issue with like why my issue with the end is he's had lifetime issues with living in his shadow, which is why he tries to big himself up and say, actually, you've lived in my shadow, brother, even though he hasn't. He's lived in Dom's shadow all his life, because he's been the world criminal, and he's only come up in the 9th film, and apparently 2 hours later, or however many days or weeks later it is in the story, they're good. Unless
2 hours in the terms of like telling the story, but probably about like a week within
yeah.
events of what's going on.
But who knows what would happen with Fast 10, or whatever they call it, because
Fasten your seatbelts.
if they do that,
Fasten your seatbelts. I wouldn't surprise me at this point.
they will.
The title. I don't know what goes on with the titles. Literally, it's like they looked at for this one. It looks like for the American release anyway. It looks like they literally just went to a keyboard and thought the F9 button, perfect.
Yeah.
The F key.
But
And then Fate of the Furious is the play on word for.
maybe they'll do as many keys as there is F keys on a keyboard, function keys on a keyboard. They'll do 12 films.
They're doing 11.
Oh, like brilliant, that works then.
Yeah, so 10 and 11 are going to be a two-parter. They're going to basically Deathly Hallows, Infinity War, Mockingjay it, basically.
Right. But yeah,
even though it's not a bookend.
uh,
But it's not a franchise based off a book unless you consider the characters that were originally created as part of a newspaper strip. So in other words, this is like a Garfield adaptation.
but yeah, that's Fast 9. It's obviously just a quick review, spoiler free at the beginning. Watch through if you want to, go comment what you think.
In cinemas now,
Cinemas now.
go for free to
Uh,
watch them.
yeah. Um, I am not the Fast and Furious fan, so I don't want to end the video on my note of it because there are millions of Fast and Furious fans out there. So if you're a Fast and Furious fan, I really hope you enjoy this film, as did Ollie. I hope. And
Oh yeah, I like the
and
ride
yeah.
or die.
But yeah, Fast and Furious 9 in cinemas now. I don't know when it's out anywhere else, but I know it's just come out in the UK today. So watch it.
All the other films are available on DVD, Blu-ray, digital download, I suppose, or whatever people use these days. I know Fast 7 and Hobbs and Shaw are available on Now TV, and there's
Amazon or Netflix. Yeah.
on Netflix there's an animated TV show called Spy Racers, but that's a bit shit to be honest. And then for gamers, you got Fast and Furious Crossroads, which came out, which I do have for PS4 anyway. I don't know if they're gonna remaster it for PS5. But
There we go. Fast and
we might
Furious
even talk,
9.
and if you guys are interested in doing like videos where we talk about games or any other content besides just films and television, feel free to let us know as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Fast and Furious 9. Go watch it in the cinemas now, before it lands on demand. And yeah, enjoy the film and hope you enjoyed the review. And we'll see you in Endgame in a few hours.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions or anything you want us to elaborate on, or anything you wish we could just touch upon a bit more, whatever, that's basically elaborate. Why have I said that twice? Yeah, just feel free to leave a comment or
Below.
whatever you want to do.
There we go.
and we'll see you next time. Ride or die.
Thanks,
Live your life's
guys.
called a mile at a
God
time.
damn it.
Live your lives called a mile at a time because nothing else matters. Those 10 seconds or less, you're free.